You might have to refresh the page if you hit it before. All right, it's live now.
Okay, so we can get it so we can hear. I did offer he could come onto the call, but
he knew he couldn't take the quiz.
We've got new
no, I said we
headphones.
didn't allow any app. I said we didn't allow any Apple users on the show.
Hey Gary, your new headphones are very clear.
Yeah, they are. These Microsoft Live Chat ones. Very. Only thing I find is my own voice sounds really muffled to me because the headsets are so tight on the ears.
Yep, sounding very clear.
Yeah.
Right.
Will that do the video as well?
You'll get the video as well, yeah, on the live page. I'm not sure. In fact, there isn't a way of getting just audio.
Oh, you do your own headphones. Can you hear anything? Can you hear me? Can you be in stereo?
Lag.
Yeah, it's very disconcerting if you actually do play the live stream while you're.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a fair lag in there. I think.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Can you hear me here and on there? Yeah.
Right. Let's send the link out.
That's Ian.
Hello.
This is Gary. You can't see.
Yeah, you can't see.
Yes.
Can you hear you?
We have a one-way video feed.
I'll just send the link.
In.
Right.
Oh, just a pop-up. Mute call, end call. Is that because it's not active?
Well, you're sounding
Must
very
be.
clear on here.
Yeah. No, when I make the Skype video app not active, it comes up with a little a notification that allows you to mute or end the call.
Oh, that must be new, yeah. Right. So set the record going. Jason and Gary, good evening and welcome to 2016.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Last year feels like such a long time ago.
Yeah. So
It does.
It does, yeah. And it just.
I thought they promised us more builds in the new year.
Yeah, well, come
No,
on.
you
Yeah,
got-
it's the
you
fifth
got-
day, aren't we now?
You got an Intel driver.
Yeah, I thought they're supposed to be increasing the speed of them and everything.
Remind me to talk about the Intel driver as well. I haven't mentioned that. But yes, we're here in the first full week back at work and everything. So unusual not to be in CES. It's been a few years since it's been now, but it still always feels a bit odd at that post-Christmas time. Suddenly trying to get everything ready, but it's a lot better to cover it from here, I think. Certainly a lot cheaper.
Yeah. It's always weird because all the news seems to come out before it actually starts.
Yeah, that's what we used to find, and all the press releases would come out at what seemingly an inconvenient time. So by the time you got to find somewhere where you could actually write about it, they'd gone out, and you'd missed the news cycle on it.
Yeah, it's like one of the big guys always had someone go around the stands, but also a whole sort of like the Engadget trailers with people just taking the press releases and posting them up.
Yeah, it's good, always good fun, but
yeah, we couldn't quite afford to ship the TDL trailer over there, could we?
No, it's in my garden. We'll keep it for the Gadget show at the NEC.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so we have got a bit of news from CES. Not a huge amount, but there are a couple of things. We've got a bit of Surface Book news. We've got Microsoft news on the number of activated Windows 10 devices. A couple of app updates that happened over the Christmas period, and I've got a few tech purchases that people have sent in that they want to sort of nominate as their tech purchase of 2015, and of course I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on what your favorite purchase was of 2015. Of course, for most people it was the book.
Yes, of course.
Which on Boxing Day sold exceptionally well for some reason. I think I sent you a little link to it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. The graph shooting into the midair, so that was quite impressive.
It was in the top, I think it was top 30,000 of books on Amazon.
Yeah, which is what, top 15%, something like that?
Yeah, out of 7 million, so it did quite well. So, but it's still time to buy it. Now, if you've got your new Windows 10 machine, you can get our Windows 10 Entertainment book. Anyway, so where we start off? So let's talk about these gadget purchases. Just got a few of these in. Quite a few people nominated the Pi Zero as the tech purchase of the year, which I can understand considering it was free with a magazine. But I think it's what, £5.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Yeah. Richard Speed said that it had to be his iPhone. After being a Windows phone user from the start, access to his apps was a big deciding factor, which I can understand. One of the things we talked about many times over the last year. Who we lost there, Jason? Yes, getting him back. He did have an orange triangle on his thing. And I'll just get a link up. Trying to get him back. And Clive did say his best tech purchase was a Synology NAS, so he could turn off his old Windows Home server.
Yep.
And there's quite a few, I think, home servers going switched off nowadays.
And shame, but that's the way it is. So, unfortunately, they're starting to become less relevant because you can't. I mean, if you've got all the Windows 10 devices, backing up to them is a bit difficult because of most of them strange disk types and things. I mean, I still use my home server. I don't think I'll replace it just yet, but
no. Well, I've got that VideoBox one, and I'm still using it, and it doesn't actually do backups, but it's a great media server with MB and Plex on it.
Yeah.
So Jason's Skype crashed. Let's see if we can get him back. Just trying to get him back on. So add him back to the call. I'm glad they've made it so you can add people back to the call now. That's right. So we'll wait for him to get his Skype up and running again. Yeah, so I think that the NAS products, in fact, I reviewed one over Christmas. A really cheap, I think it was 90 quid, something like that. You just stick your own drives in there, but it would run Plex. So you could actually set up a quite nice media server with the NAS drive now. They're sort of pretty flexible and sort of cloud connected out there now, so that you can back up things to the cloud as well.
Yeah, they've taken a lot of what was on the home server. I mean, it's a typical thing where Microsoft got to market first and then didn't take their advantage forward. Hopefully they'll stop doing that.
That's just a very good point, then. Yeah. Jason, on this one, but which one's that? I can't see. That's his Messenger one, isn't it? Let's try. Maybe it was that one. Try that. Got two Jasons on my screen now.
Hey, I'm back.
You're back.
Double Jason. Double.
You can guess what that was.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll give you a bonus point if you can guess what that was.
You mean you're not trying those Intel beta drivers?
That was my display driver stopped responding and Skype instantly just crashed completely.
Nice. I did say I mentioned that, so we'll come back to that after. But we were just saying about the sort of tech purchases of the year. We were just talking about NAS because Clive said he replaced his old home server with the NAS box, and it's another one of those technologies that Microsoft kind of pioneered, the home server, and it's they kind of lost that's gone away now.
Yeah, and I was just saying, I hope they stop doing that now. And actually, when they pioneer stuff, they stick with it.
Yes, and we'll have to, and that we'll come back to that as well. We'll talk tech predictions of 2016 and what we'll get. So, Gary, of all the things you tried in 2015 or purchased, what was your sort of highlight?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I think the thing I've probably made most use of over the last 4 weeks is the 3D printer I've had on loan from XYZ. Surprising amount of stuff got built before Christmas. Sort of stands for charging bands and pebbles and cases for Raspberry Pis and all sorts of things. I think every Christmas present ended up having something attached to it which had been 3D printed some way or the other. So yeah.
What kind of price do they retail at?
Well, this is the one I was to mention the other day. This is the XYZ baby one called the Da Vinci Junior, which I say it's baby. It's still quite a large box. It's about the size of an old portable TV,
Right.
the old tube type portable TVs, and it's just about as heavy.
Younger listeners will have to Google that.
Yeah, they will. But it prints quite sizable stuff, and this is actually retails just over £200.
That's really good.
And it's just really good. I mean, but they're using the same approach as the inkjet printer manufacturers use, where you can only really use their cable or their extruder fibre. My brain's gone blank on what they actually call the stuff, but the reels of stuff you actually feed through the extruder, and that's filament. That's the word I'm looking for. And they actually have an RFID tag in their filament drum, so that you can only use their filament with it. But it works out reasonably expensive to print stuff. I think I worked out that the Band 2 stand I printed cost about £3, and the Raspberry Pi case about £4. But then again, it's going to cost you that much to ship one in. So
yeah,
and exactly. you get to customize it how you like.
I think the Band 2 stand it isn't available in the UK, but if it was, it's on the US store, it's $20.
Yeah, and this is slightly different approach to the Band 2 stand to that one. It doesn't stand it upright; it stands it horizontally, which seems to work better to my mind anyway. But you've got those abilities. I mean, I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, that one of the things I actually used it for was replacing some clips in my kitchen which had broken, the plastic fatigue on them, and you couldn't get those clips anymore. They're just not made anymore. So I used the 3D scanner, which I've also got. Which I did mention, the Intel RealSense camera-based scanner, to scan those clips and reprint and print them.
Oh, that is good, yeah.
And that feels like the future.
The replicator is on the way.
Replicator's on the way. So I think once this technology gets a bit miniaturized, it's a bit clunky at the moment. It feels like early stages still. But I've mentioned 3D printing as a technology for the future, especially the 3D printing of medical stuff, which I've mentioned before, and that's starting to come into place quite a lot, and foodstuffs as well. I think we'll see more and more of this in possibly different forms.
So if we come out to your house for dinner, we'll be eating off printed plates and printed knives and forks.
Everything printed, yeah.
Well, I don't know about printed plates. That's a bit of a waste sometimes. But knives and forks, well, maybe. I've just printed a 3D knife stand for the knives I got over Christmas.
Everything in Gary's house is now plastic.
Yeah.
Printed bed, printed why bed sheets made of plastic, everything, printed curtains.
and all of it voice controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty cool thing. I've also, I got a Raspberry Pi 2 for Christmas as well, which is the first time I've actually played with the Pi and quite enjoyed playing with that. So that's been quite fun.
Or have you managed to get some of the Windows 10 stuff on that?
Yeah, I've just been trying IoT stuff on it, and that's quite fun. But I'm also using it in traditional methods. I was just playing around with Open Alexa Day, which is the first time I've really played with that.
Yeah, it's good.
I wanted to try and use it with the VBox. You remember I mentioned I've got this TV server, and one of the things they say on the VBox site is it works really well with OpenELEC, and I have to say it does work exceedingly well with OpenELEC. Although it hasn't got the plugin yet, because that's coming with the next version of Kodi. The Jarvis version of Kodi, but just using it on DLNA on UPnP works really well. The streaming from the HD channels is way better, way less stutter than I get using the web interface on my Media Center PC.
Right.
So there's some definitely interesting things there, and obviously that's full HD, so that's working really well. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the Pi 2.
What I've yet to see really with the Pi 2 is kind of a Windows 10 IoT media app.
Yeah, I guess you could you could probably push some of the current media apps onto it, along with the driver support was there.
It'd be interesting to see sort of MB or VLC or something like that. So you just got an embedded media player.
I'd actually like to push Groove across to it. I'm not sure I can do that yet, but but I can. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You have to try the Xbox app. You can use it as a game streaming device. Yeah,
that would be good.
Yeah.
So same question for you, Jason. So 2015, what was your purchase of the year?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I actually bought anything last year. All my stuff was the year before with the Surface Pro 4 and my Lumia 930. I don't think I actually made any tech investments last year.
So that means you've been saving for the Surface Book.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the one thing we did buy for the kids, we set up a games room with an Xbox One. I got a Blaupunkt TV from Tesco's, and actually been quite impressed with it. The picture's really good. So yeah, but no. Apart from that, I think I messaged Prime myself last year.
Yeah, I think you.
In fact, the only tech I bought was an iPad.
Right, okay, drops call now.
Yeah.
Although Skype probably doesn't crash on there.
No, probably not. No, it doesn't get display driver stop responding. Yeah.
I mean,
and it's got a Sonos app.
Yes, it has. Yeah, please, Sonos, come on, put us out of our misery. For me, I actually only put. I was going to say I didn't purchase a lot apart from three minor things, which is Surface Pro 3, the 950 XL, the Band 2, and of those, I have to say the Surface Pro 3, as you'd expect, has been my best purchase. Really does everything on there now, so that has really got my. I feel I've got value for that. And the Surface Pro 4, I don't really feel for my usage that I'm missing out too much either. So I perhaps would like the new keyboard, but even my keyboard's nice and clean and everything. So I think it was back in February I got that, and I'm definitely very happy with my Surface. And that it's such a great lightweight device that's powerful enough to edit videos on, edit this podcast on, do the blog posts, but still I can sit on the sofa and browse with it in tablet mode, or I can have it in a really small bag when I'm out and about. So yeah, definitely my purchase has been that Surface Pro 3.
Yeah, cool stuff. Actually, just one purchase I wanted to mention, which is actually a post 2015 but 2016 one. I managed to pick up a Lenovo Mix 3.
Is that little tablet?
8-inch tablet, yeah. In John Lewis's clearance at a ridiculously cheap price, because it wasn't boxed. I mean, actually sub 30 quid. So, that is a real bargain. That's an amazing bargain. I'm exceptionally pleased with that. That works really well.
Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, actually, the battery life on it is way better than the Lynx 8.
Right, because I really like those 8-inch tablets. I must admit, I do.
Did you see the 8-inch tablet that was on? I think it was in one of the Black Friday deals, but it was. I think that might have been one of the Lynx 8s, where it came with a custom Xbox dock. So it had like two handles each side with the Xbox. That looked really neat.
Yeah, it's still available. Not quite so discounted.
The only thing I found with that is the Xbox. I don't know what it's like on your network, but you get a bit of lag occasionally, and then it will drop. And I think really for really good quality streaming, maybe I need, I've got a few hops on mine, but whether a wide connection works much better. I'll tell you what, I did get this year. This will be the 2016 best purchase, was a new coffee machine.
Yes, we saw that.
You see, yeah, that is going to be my purchase of the year. I know that now before we get out of January. Bean to cup cappuccino, very nice. So
yeah, we bought one about probably must be 2 years ago now. Yeah, haven't looked back. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely love that.
So can I predict a purchase of this year?
Yes.
An 8-inch Windows 10 mobile tablet, the thing you said would never arrive.
Yes, I did say that, yes. Well, actually,
we're really good with predictions.
Yeah. To be fair, I thought it was 7 inches and below for Windows 10 mobile.
It is.
So, but it's it was one of the CES announcements today, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Alcatel, and I did talk to them at IFA, and they sort of rumoured they were doing something along those lines. And I thought then they'd said it was going to be a 7.9 inch, so maybe it is a 7.9 inch, which is close enough to 8 inches, isn't it? But it's an 8-inch tablet running Windows 10 mobile with 4G LTE.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah. Seems quite a good spec, actually. And obviously, being Alcatel, a French company, it's going to be available in Europe. So they reckon it's going to be $199 in the States. I'm not quite sure what the price will be in the UK. Probably £199, but we might see them discounted because like Alcatel stuff gets. It's 1280 by 800 screen. Windows 10 mobile, micro SIM. So really, this is your size of phone.
I was just thinking this is Alex's phone.
You have to have the headphone jack. I don't think it's got a mic.
The only spec I thought was missing from that, and I know it's because of the processor they've chosen, but it would have been amazing if that had Continuum.
Yeah, it hasn't got continuum, unfortunately. It's quad
No.
4. Although I did hear rumours that there's actually a higher spec one coming as well. So, but maybe at a much higher price.
So, why would you buy one of those over a one running full Windows 10?
Good question. Sorry, Jess, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, I would say for that kind of appliance type, I mean, basically it's the next gen of kind of Windows RT, isn't it? That it's something that you can't just go installing all sorts of, apps and downloaded all sorts from the internet. It's going to be purely, Windows Store apps, universal apps. It should be, connected standby and LTE built into it. So,
yeah, I just wonder. I mean, it's like, yeah, I always thought, yeah, this is what I would like, a nice, clean, lightweight in OS. But you do get, with an 8-inch tablet, it is handy to be able to install things on there like Sonos. So I'm still not, I'm not totally convinced. It just really needs, I suppose, if we get the apps like Sonos, then you wouldn't really need the desktop one, but because I never use the desktop on my 8-inch and 7-inch tablets, I always just use it in tablet mode. And the only traditional app I use is Sonos. So I suppose I answer my own question.
I think I mean I saw a statistic today. I don't know how true this is. I haven't investigated it, but somebody said that there are now as many Windows 10 devices as there are iPads. So
yes, that's
apps like the Sonos have got to be coming. If you've got that kind of install base, I know you probably kind of have to counter that with the number of people that actually use store apps as opposed to using it, desktop applications. But it shows that they're growing.
Yeah, I mean, we'll come back and we'll talk about Windows 10 figures as well later in the show. But yeah, I mean, for someone like Sonos, you just need a link on your website, don't you, for the controller app that just is the Windows 10 Store one. And then regardless of whether people are already using Windows Store apps, it doesn't matter. They'll click on the link, it'll take them to the store, they'll download it, and it'll be there. So you don't need to sell people on the idea of the store if you make the app available. Yeah. They'll just use it anyway. But like I said, we'll come back onto that. I'm just trying to think. So that's a nice little device that I saw at CES. There was a couple of other ones, wasn't there? Announced at CES, a couple of Windows ones. The Acer's. We got the price for the Acer Liquid Jade Primo.
Yeah.
And that's the one that has the Continuum dock.
Yeah. So what I couldn't figure out from the pricing was whether it actually came with the dock or not, and I hope it does at that price.
The press release does not mention that.
Yeah, that's right. That's because originally when I spoke to them last year, they said it was going to come with a dock, but that it doesn't seem to be mentioned now. And I'm just trying to dig at the. Have you got the price there?
€569. The UK price is supposed to be on its way to me, so they sent it through.
So I think that's quite pricey, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess that's 450, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And if it doesn't come with the dock, then it becomes a bit uncompetitive. But on the other hand, it's a nice looking phone. Very utilitarian, but I think it's certainly good spec.
And on the other hand, if you don't buy the dock, you can always buy the lovely massive display with the Continuum dock built into it.
True.
Yeah, and of course you can use wireless. Then you don't have to use the you don't have to use the dock, and it supports USB-C as well, doesn't it?
Yes, it's USB-C device, so you could use Microsoft dock for that matter.
Yeah.
So it's just a USB-C hub effectively, and that's all their dock is. Although they have got the dock which you can drop the phone into, which I quite liked.
Yes, I think that's quite a nice idea. That was a nice way of having the device sort of on your desk. I mean, when I was testing the Microsoft Display dock, you kind of got your phone in limbo almost. Really, in fact, you should print your stand.
Yep, could do that. I think there's one of those available.
Yeah, but that I quite like the idea of the dock that you can drop in.
The only problem with that style of dock, and I don't know if this is a bug that they'll fix eventually, but I've seen people say that if you take a screenshot with the phone, it will take it in the orientation that the phone's in. So it just means with that dock, you wouldn't be able to turn the phone into landscape.
Right.
Well, I guess you could, but it'd be certainly a juggling act.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's nice to have another premium Windows phone.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. Good.
Windows 10. mobile
And,
device.
and rumours of more coming as well. There's strong rumours that Samsung may be coming up with one, which would be cool. So yeah, I think we're certainly going to see a lot more over the next few months.
Yeah.
Certainly not bad for a dead platform.
Yep.
No. And
Allegedly.
at CES, really, there is not a huge amount of Windows stuff, but there are, I think, HP, Lenovo, particularly Lenovo, isn't it, that showed off some new devices. Acer, of course. I didn't do all their press releases, but they've got a new premium tablet, premium laptop notebook on the way that hopefully we'll get to review.
Yeah, they've got Switch 12
yeah.
S, which sounds really quite good.
So there are some nice form factors of Windows devices coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also some really nice bezel-less displays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I know at some point I'm going to have to replace my old HP TouchSmart in the living room, which sometimes I think, well, I don't need a PC in the living room. But it's the central point where all the music's on. I know all the music is actually technically on this server up in my office, but it's the one that we go to. It's got the Sonos controller on there, and it's got iTunes on there, which we use for ripping. And my wife uses it to copy into her iPhone. So it's kind of the central machine. So I think a nice bezel-less small display on there connected to a USB type PC would actually be quite nice there. Although I suppose I'd have to have it as touchscreen because we don't have a keyboard or mouse in there. It'd be nice if there was a nice device to replace that with. It would be nice if there was a nice Microsoft Entertainment device that we could have.
What, like an Xbox One but smaller?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously there's been rumours of that this week.
Yeah. So
there's been rumours about that for years, I think.
Yeah, but the slightly more concrete rumours, I think, considering where they're coming from. So there's been talk by an unnamed source at Microsoft that they may be producing a smaller version of the Xbox One.
It's interesting depends on which site news you read is to who and where this is aimed at. I think the Apple sites had it as a Apple TV gaming type competitor. The Android people would kind of say, is it a competitor to Android TV? The gamers would kind of say it's just a smaller Xbox. So I don't really know exactly who it's going to be aimed at yet.
Yeah, and what do they mean by a smaller Xbox One? What are they going to cut out of it?
Yeah, because yes, they could cut the drive out, but that itself isn't huge. The biggest part of it is the fans on it, and it does seem to need the fans. I'm playing Forza Motorsport 6, and the fans kick in. I can hear them.
So, I mean, you can see if it was an Apple TV competitor, maybe they could cut some of the fans out and actually cut the gaming potential of it and just actually make use of the entertainment features. But I'm not sure. I mean, I might be in the market for an Xbox One with the DVR functionality and a TV tuner.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm certainly not in the gaming market at the moment. So
no, I mean there are. I think there's a few things they could do to make it small. I mean, obviously the Xbox 360 went through a number of evolutions and with changes in the size of the CPU to reduce the heat. So I could see them maybe being able to work around the fan issue as technology moves on. They could also do away with the optical drive. They could potentially do away with the hard drive and make it USB 3 only. So that could certainly shrink it down, or it could even be just a pure IoT Windows 10 with the Xbox app, just pure streaming. So you have to have an Xbox One already, but
yeah, certainly that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it will be a smaller Xbox One. So one thing I thought about is maybe they can do something like the Surface Pro 4 liquid cooling technology, which seems to appear in everything to actually reduce the fans and make it cooler and maybe a cut down processor slightly slower.
I would imagine that if they're going to do anything and still keep it Xbox branded, they're going to have to make it fully compatible, which means you can cut out the drive. You can, like you said, you can maybe make it USB 3 only and have an external drive, but it's still going to have cooling and fans in there to some degree, because it's going to have to, for it to make sense to me, it would have to be able to play Forza Motorsport 6 on it at full res or Halo or whatever, because any compromise on it mean, I've always said I would wish Microsoft had their own entertainment device. So a small £50 USB device that you plug into your TV and you access Groove and Microsoft Film and TV and maybe the Xbox streaming app. But I've got a feeling that we won't ever see that. If they're going to do anything, I expect it'll just be a repackaged Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of empty space in there. And I've kind of expected ever since the Xbox One launched that eventually there'd be an Xbox One Slim or something.
Yeah, I think that's more likely. I've not heard anything, but makes more sense to me to have a slimmed down Xbox One that's fully compatible. A device that you can use for other stuff as well. I mean, if they did, I would certainly be in the market for a £50 or £100 device that's IoT style one, but I just couldn't see them doing that. But I mean, that's the one limitation of their media platforms we've mentioned for the last few years now, isn't it? That Groove is there now on mobile devices, but I don't think you could pick up Groove on a Roku or an Apple TV or an Android TV. So maybe Android TV you could, because of the Android Groove app. I've not checked it, but there still is a bit of a gap with their media platform. But I think Xbox to most people means gaming, and if it didn't do the full games, I can't imagine it doing too well. But you never know. Maybe that will be a tech purchase of 2016.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure we'll get to find out in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Xbox One, included in the figures, Microsoft did a post on saying that Windows 10 is now active on over 200 million devices.
Yeah, that's certainly a rate of install, isn't it? I think one thing that really highlighted, I think, everyone's kind of raised the question whether or not Microsoft are aware, or whether or not, people classify Windows 8 as a failure. But I think Windows 10 is growing at 400% faster than Windows 8. So I think that really underlined that point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they said that Windows 10 is now. It says as of today, which was Monday when they posted that, there are 200 million monthly active devices on the world around the world with Windows 10. So that's not total installs, and that's 200 million active devices. Although I guess most devices are active anyway, I suppose. But
yeah, it is a subtle change to wording though from previous announcements.
Yeah, so it's not upgrades, which is what they used to say, isn't it? The 100 million was upgrades. But this includes new machines, which they said 40% of new Windows 10 devices have been active since Black Friday, which I guess a lot of those in the Christmas market. And like you said, 400% up on Windows 8, 140% up on Windows 10. Sorry, Windows 7. Yes. So they are impressive numbers, and as I said in the post, I know you can kind of prove almost anything with statistics, but just anecdotal sort of evidence of what I've seen of talked to people. People are happy with Windows 10. I know of people who have upgraded their own machines, and of course all new machines are coming with Windows 10. Windows 10 just seemed to be accepted by Windows 7 users.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know. I think I did mention in the last year that I'd got my wife a new laptop for Christmas that I was holding on to. So she's now got that as a HP device. It's really nice, actually. It's one of the ones that sort of folds over the screen on itself, so you can use it as a tablet. There's a 15-inch screen on it, which she really likes it. So. And I've been interested to sort of watching how she managed to use it. And she's never used Windows 8. I never bothered to upgrade her old laptop. And she's taken to Windows 10 with no problem at all. Interestingly, when I set her mail up, she uses Gmail, but I set it up using the mail app rather than the browser. She was using Chrome before. And she's taken to the new mail app quite well as well. So... and I have not installed Chrome on it, and so far, no issues about that.
It's probably a good job it's not 6 months ago, because the mail app is a lot better than it was then.
Exactly,
yeah.
But the one issue I have seen with it is the display driver crashes. So the issue that I've never had on my Surface, I've seen on her a few times.
Tell me about this, Ian. I've never heard of it.
Yeah. So what happened with this Intel beta release then? We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I have no idea. Come on, Jason.
No, I didn't even know there was one. Sorry, it completely passed me by.
No, it was Gary. You sent us the link to it, didn't you?
Yeah, so over Christmas there was a beta release of the Intel display drivers. Which
Is that from Intel or from Microsoft?
From Intel, so it's not on Windows Update. It's
Right.
only on the Intel. And if there's, I think Windows Central has got a post on how you can actually install them. And some people are reporting they fix things, and other people are reporting they actually make them worse. So I don't know quite where people will stand on that one, but they are up for certification with Microsoft at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite a famous Monty Python film. Worse? How could it be worse?
Yes, although in beta drivers from Intel, where I don't think I'll be putting them on my Surface Pro 3. I'll wait till Microsoft ship them.
Yes, yeah. I think it would be nice to have for my Surface Pro 3, and that would be Windows 10 drivers. It keeps telling me my Windows 8 drivers crashing.
Well, it doesn't.
Well, these are supposedly Windows 10 drivers, so
Right. Yeah, I mean it's actually been a few months since we've even had firmware for the Surface Pro 3.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like it's getting a bit end of life in that regard.
Yep. Anyway, so these drivers are available on the download center at Intel.
Give them a try, Jason.
No, why am I the guinea pig?
All we have to do is mention it to you, and you say you're not doing it, and then by next week say you would have done it.
Yeah, along with Redstone Beta 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to get those on, but I think I'll have to have a look at. I think they're obviously the HP drive, the Intel drivers on my wife's HP machine. It's I just had a look at mine. It's a Pavilion that I got my wife X360. It's very nice actually, very nice lightweight little device. 15-inch screen, but she had a big 17-inch laptop before. It was sort of half an hour battery life, so this is a big change. But from Windows 7 to using it on Windows 10, it's been very good actually. And like I said, I've managed to avoid putting Chrome on there, so it's a nice and clean machine. I've put her on Office 2016 as well. So, but yes, using that fine. And like I said, many of the people that I've talked to have got Windows 10 and seem quite happy with it. So I'll include a link in the show notes to the post on that. But apparently Microsoft did clarify that the 200 million includes Xbox One users. So, but that's only a fairly small amount of that, I guess.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. I mean, I don't know what they haven't really released figures, have they, for the Xbox One? They kind of talk about Xbox Live users now.
And Windows 10 phone, but again, there's not a huge amount of phones.
Yeah, I mean that was limited to Windows insiders and those that have managed to get their hands on a Lumia 950.
Yeah,
which seems to, considering apparently there's no interest in Windows Phone, it seems to have sold out.
Well, someone said there's a huge pent-up desire amongst Windows 10 enthusiasts, which is enough to say that first load is how it sells going beyond that first load. Although, of course, you can't actually buy a 950 XL from virtually anywhere now because virtually everybody has stopped selling them because of supposed problems.
I saw a tweet today. I think Amazon UK have got stock again.
Yeah, they were supposed to. I think it was either today or tomorrow. They were supposed to bring them back in, so maybe it is today. But they had stopped selling them due to unspecified reasons.
I noticed EE had stopped. They were showing 21 days delivery time, and I think was it Carphone Warehouse had stopped selling them as well. I think.
Yeah, but I think Vodafone said they're going to start selling them, aren't they?
Yeah. I suppose it's difficult to get it right, isn't it, when you've been spent 18 months developing the next flagship.
Yeah, and I guess they're being very cautious with the numbers.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm liking my 950 anyway. It's working. My XL, it's working really well. I'll tell you what, my son got with his Christmas money. He replaced his old 625 with a 550.
Oh, yeah.
Which he's absolutely loving. It's a really, I know, Gary, you said the same thing, but it's a really nice little phone.
Yeah, the 550 is a lovely phone.
Yeah.
And it runs Windows 10 so well. So that's why you definitely tell when you've got a phone which is optimized for Windows 10 as opposed to one which is upgraded to it.
Yeah. He really loves it. It's got the latest build on it. I haven't put the insider promo, just received the latest build, and it's working really well on it. So we copied all his music and some of my music onto his laptop, put it in the OneDrive music folder, made sure we got the free storage that we talked about the show last year, where you can maintain your bonus storage and things like that. So we did all that, synced it up with Groove, and I said, right, you want to use Groove Music now? Here's a link to a website where you can buy a book. So he's got Groove Music on his phone, and he's got all his music. So he's got sort of all his music in OneDrive, and just downloaded a few albums that he wants to listen to on his phone. But when we bought an SD card as well, so I think it was like £8 or something like that. For another 32 gig. No, 32 gig, I think. So he's just put loads of music on there now. So he's really happy with that. It gets excellent battery life, but around double than I get out the 950.
Yeah, so that's something I mentioned last week, wasn't it? Last show, that the battery life was phenomenal on that. It just, I don't think I've had a Windows Phone which lasts as long as that does using normal day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, I think when I looked at his battery saver app, I think it was showing something like 2 days, 13 hours or something like that after a full charge. So I get about 24 hours, something like that, on the 950 XL. Although it varies. That's one of the things. I guess it's because it's Windows 10 is new. I've noticed on my 950, some days at night I'll be putting it on charge and it's on 80%. Other days it'll be on 40%. And it really does depend on what you've used with it. We know it sounds stupid, but it's a silly thing to say. But yeah, it does make a difference, the usage pattern on it. It's, I think like the Tweetium app went through a stage of sort of being 15% of the battery life. But it was still plenty charging. It's not a problem. But then the following day, I noticed, Tweetium's not even in the top of the list of being the most used app. So whether there's some optimization around the background tasks going on and things like that, but I'm one thing. I don't need to charge it till to the end of the evening. Whereas on my son's, he doesn't really need to charge it every day. He can charge it every day, and he's using it for music and browsing and things like that. So it's a really nice little phone. I think it was various prices, but I think it was £90 on. SIM unlock, so he just put his own SIM card in there. Although we did have to get him a nano SIM. It's a nano SIM one. But
it is, which is proving difficult for me for one of my friends I'm trying to get one for, because they can't get a nano SIM very easily on their provider. But because they say, so you can only have a nano SIM if you've got an iPhone.
Right. Actually, well, I said fair credit to EE, which he's got to pay. He's got a monthly contract, but it's just a sort of a tariff only. And we just went into the EE store, local store, and said, "Can we have a nano SIM?" And they just gave it. They didn't charge anything.
Yeah, no, they are really good like that. I must admit, I can't wait for the SIMs to just get built into the phone. It certainly seems that's the way Apple are going, and I think that'll be, they've got the drive to make that happen.
I can kind of do and don't like that, because I can imagine it'd be a real pain for people like me who roam around the world and I swap SIMs in and out, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, because you have to activate it each time, then unless it's an easy online activation kind of thing. Yeah,
or maybe you've got the equivalent of dual SIM built in. I don't know. Maybe I'm guessing it's something they must be thinking about. But that's the only reason I'm a little bit hesitant at the moment. Just on the subject of Groove Music, just quickly, I don't know if you spotted the sale they had over Christmas.
No, I didn't. No.
I picked up, I think it was an Outsicle Music 92 for £1.
Yeah, because I was going to say I picked that for £9. There's only about 6 or 7 albums in there, wasn't it? But they were all a pound, and it didn't last that long either, because I tweeted about it and someone said I can't find it, and it's gone. It's like an hour of me spotting it, so got in quickly. But no, there was some good stuff in there. They've all got back at full price.
And they've also fixed one of my old gripes that I used to moan about on a regular basis, where now if you look at an album in the store app, it actually says you own this album and can read out and can download it or stream it.
Very good.
Yeah, or play it, or even play it, which is quite nice.
Yes,
if you've got it downloaded already.
The only thing I found with like for example, the Outsicle Music 92, if I set the download running from the store, it downloaded some of the songs because it's a 2 CD, a 2 disc album, sorry. So you get this odd thing where you get 2 tracks, 1 to 20, say for example. If I download it through the store, 99% of the tracks downloaded 1 through 43, but then 2 of them that was from disc 2 were numbered 9 and 13. So you basically got two tracks of 9 and 2 tracks of 13. But if I downloaded it to the Groove app, it did it correctly and numbered them all 1 through 43 or 44, whatever it was. So it's amazing how different the experience was. But so I actually went back through. I mean, I've never bought that many albums from Groove or Xbox Music or Zune as it was, but I quickly went back through, and apart from the really old ones, I think I bought now it's called Music 85, I think it was. That doesn't show as you own this album, but anything I've bought relatively recently actually does. So that's I'm pleased about that, because it used to really annoy me, the fact that it would have buy on an album that I knew I'd already purchased.
I've got now that's why I call Music 4 on vinyl behind me over there.
Yeah, I think we used to have, I think 1 to 20, I think, on vinyl.
I have still got one somewhere, or at least it wasn't that. It was just now that's what I call music.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and of course with the Groove that has all the streaming services did over Christmas, on Christmas Eve it was, wasn't it? All the Beatles music's on there, so I've got subscriptions, so I've been listening to all of those.
Yes, yeah, we've had that played as well.
I have to say, I think the Groove experience is getting way better. I know they've been really working hard on it, and I think the store experience has definitely got better.
And gapless playback, of course.
Yes, I think my main issue is going to be as the kids start to get older and kind of want to listen to their own music. Sharing the Groove music is quite difficult. Whereas now you've got Spotify and now Google Play Music having the family plans. I think that's going to be quite a lot of pressure, I think, to switch away from Groove if they don't introduce it.
I'm 100% certain that the Groove team are aware of the need for a family pass.
Yeah,
whether they can get negotiations sorted out for it, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that they're aware of it. There are complications with the Groove service, and that it's actually slightly more than just a streaming service. So, in the way the record industry look at it, because you can download tracks as well, but I'm sure they're working on it hard.
Talking of sale items as well, my other son bought a Band 2 because that was in the sale. It was 160 on Amazon just for the day. So I'm not sure what it is now. It was 150 actually. I think it's back to 150. Yeah, it's back to 170 now.
Yeah, it's 170 now. It was 149, wasn't it?
Yeah.
99, 150. Yeah. So I know somebody who picked up a Band 2. It's interesting enough that they had a Band 1 and were okay with it, but they're really moaning about the Band 2 battery life.
Yes, well, you recall I sent one back, but the key to it is the watch mode.
Yeah, I've got them running on watch mode.
The one where it only comes on when you move, or twist,
yeah. I think whatever mode that is, but yeah, they're still. It's getting over a day's battery life, which I guess the Band did as well. But it just seems to be not quite enough for them.
My experience of it is in normal. If you have the watch mode as you do on the Band 1, where it's on continuously, you get just under a day. If you have it in the sort of the automatic mode, I can't remember what Microsoft call it now, where as soon as I look at it, it comes on. I get 2 days. Whereas the Band 1 on the old standard, it doesn't have the advanced watch mode. The standard watch mode, you get 2 days. So it isn't as good in that respect. But when you've got this new mode on, I tend to get just about the same or slightly more battery than I did on the Band before with a continuous display.
Yeah.
But certainly, I sometimes find it much more comfortable, which is my experience as well. And the music controls are there as well, which I really do like. And at first I thought, yeah, it's okay. It's a nice feature, but I'm not sure how much you should use it. But then I was out the other day with the coat on and my phone was in my pocket. So the headphone wire is inside my coat. So you want to turn the volume up or skip a track, you can just do it through your wrist. And it is actually worth doing then, rather than getting the phone out. Whereas a lot of the times you think, like Cortana and thing on the phone, it's on the Band. It's nice, but you don't always use it. But that is one thing I do use.
I've just been asked to get you to publish your settings.
What the
on the Band?
Yeah,
best battery life.
I'll find those.
Maybe you could write a book.
Yeah, maybe it could.
It's the watch mode. The battery life setting I've got is watch mode, rotate on,
Yeah.
and brightness I've got set as automatic.
I think that's definitely what. But I think what they've got actually got watch mode switched off. So I would have expected that to be longer than
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
than the rotate. But they're telling me they only get about a day and a quarter.
Mm.
So.
Well, for my usage, as long as I get over the day, that's okay with me. But yeah, okay, that's the next book then. I'm not sure we fill a book on band, but you never know. Actually, you probably
But you probably could fill a book on wearables, Pebble,
yes,
band,
good, yeah, that's right.
Android Wear.
Yeah, actually, give me an idea though.
Well, you need another New Year's resolution. So.
Well, that's right. Yeah, it's that kind of funny thing. Once the book's done, it's you feel a bit like, oh, what do I do now? So I think I would do some more video extracts from the book as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that my son's very pleased with his band now. I do like. Did you see? One thing I did see at CES is that I think while Microsoft have sort of come not on the full car stuff as they were in previous shows, but they're doing a lot of the back end stuff like use your stuff for the car manufacturers. With Volvo, you can control your car with your band too.
Quite cool.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what you could do with turn left, turn right using Cortana, but that could be a bit of a
just sit in the back seat and drive your car.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's only useful when you can say, "Kit, come and get me now."
Yeah, that's what we're all waiting for.
Yeah. Well, you can kind of do that with a Tesla, can't you? You can say park in garage, and it'll go and park in the garage, and then press your button on your phone, and it'll come and find you.
Very nice.
It's like in a sinister way, or
Yeah, come and
find you. Yeah.
How dare you park me over that?
Now, we mentioned about tech purchases. If you have got a bit of cash to spare, you can now pre-order the Surface Book here in the UK.
Yeah. Actually, I have to say that's come out at a lower price than I thought it would.
So it's $12.99 for the i5, but $2,249 for the i7 version. Which is a lot of money, but then you are getting a nice device for that. But
it's a lot of money. But I thought the $12.99 actually did surprise me. It's quite competitive with the MacBooks.
And I'd expect the high end ones, I guess, are more intended towards business purchases anyway. With those kind of specs potentially. I mean, not most people wouldn't need a 512 gig SSD.
And that certainly ramps the price up, doesn't it, when you get those big SSDs?
Yeah. My only worry is I would like to, give one a test drive, but I've read such mixed reviews about, hardware issues with the screen, maybe, not detaching when it's supposed to, and obviously they've got the sleep related issues still impacting the Surface Pro 4 and the Surface Book. And it just, when you're paying over £2,000 for a device, you kind of want it to be flawless, really.
Yeah, it's interesting that's exactly what I thought. I'm not that I was in the market for one, but yeah, you really are. I think a lot of people will probably have been put off by those initial issues, and perhaps be hanging on for a Surface Book too.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly been my
Surface Book.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly been my feeling. I think sorry, it's just like you, Ian. If I was in the market for one, I think I've read enough to say wait for the Gen 2 product.
Yeah, I mean at £2,200, you really don't want any issues.
No.
Yeah, I mean, though, having said that from what I can work out, it's a small percentage of the first batch which did have the issues. But yeah, I take the point.
I also kind of, when it first was announced, and I think we talked about this really, that I tried to decide would I have that over a Surface Pro. And I'm still not entirely sure about the use case. I would imagine it would be one of those devices that if I had, I would, after a couple of months, maybe just completely forget to start, to kind of use the screen in tablet mode, because it's not as powerful as a Surface Pro device, is it?
In tablet mode, no. No, I think you're right. I mean, it does depend on usage. Like I was saying earlier on, the Surface Pro 3 that I've got is perfect for my usage for that device, and the Pro 4 would be, and I'd take that over a Surface Book. But having said that, I do use a machine at the office that's a Lenovo touchscreen. It's not a convertible, it's just a touchscreen, and I don't really use a touchscreen when it's got Visual Studio in it, and it's a big device, and it would be a good replacement for that. But I tend not to carry that one around very much. So if I want to, I tend to use the Surface Pro 3 all the time and carrying around. So it does depend. I mean, if you've got high end requirements and then the one device and you want a tablet as well, I don't know. It's I think really, it's not an easy decision. I guess it just
it's not at all. And I think I was a bit skeptical on the Surface Book until I actually got my hands on one when I was out in the States earlier this year. Last year, later last year. But yeah, I was really impressed with the Surface Book. I've had a play with Dave McCabe's one, home server show, and the screen on it is just so gorgeous that really sells you when you start seeing that screen. It just that's a really big point. But I take your point on the usability in tablet mode, because it definitely isn't as usable as the.
I suppose if you align it to sort of the way the MacBooks are, I always like my MacBook Air, which is the device I used before I started using the Surface 2 on the Surface, actually, the original Surface, because of its small form factor. But obviously, a lot of people still use the MacBook Pros. So I guess they have gone sort of that split where if you want the portable device, you've got the Surface Pro 4. If you want the real power device, then you've got the Surface Book. I still wonder whether a Surface Book that's just a true laptop ultrabook, then that might be what some people really want. And like you said, they probably will not really use the tablet mode that much. I imagine if I had one, I'd probably not use it in tablet mode.
Of course, remember, it's not tablet.
No, it's clipboard, isn't it?
It's clipboard mode, yes. Yeah. And I think that is very true. It is a digital clipboard in that respect. It's a bit too big to be a tablet. I mean, for me, that's the advantage from with my developer hat on. The Surface Book is a brilliant development machine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and that's what that's my big sort of Lenovo laptop I use at work. That's got Visual Studio and everything else, and I could see if I only had one device, then yes, that would be probably the ideal device. But then the Surface Pro 4 is actually a pretty powerful device in itself. But I suppose you've got the smaller screen and not the proper keyboard, so maybe. But yeah, we shall see. And of course, in 2016, we'll probably see. New Surface Book anyway, probably a second gen Surface Book, maybe a minor revision. Might see a Surface. Do you think we'll see a Surface 4, not a Surface Pro 4, a Surface 4?
Well, it'd be interesting because apparently Surface 3s have been selling quite well up to Christmas. So I think that might be a contender for a replacement.
Yeah.
Talking about Surface Pros, I noticed that if you went to John Lewis's clearance on the first day, you didn't get any bargains, but this second weekend they seem to have released a lot of Surface Pro 3s at £500 or £600 off list price. So it's worth a look out for that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred, when I got my wife a laptop, I would have preferred to get a Surface 3 for her, really, but she wanted that traditional sort of notebook style and not the thinner keyboard of the Surface 3. So. But yeah, I expect we will see a success to that. Whether we see new phones, maybe we'll see the Surface Phone. Who knows? We'll be talking about that in for the rest of the year. We'll be talking about new builds as well, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully they've promised to increase the cadence of releases. Although I seem to recall them saying the same thing last year. So, sorry, not last year, the end of the previous year.
So maybe as this show goes out on Thursday, we'll have a new build to play with on Thursday evening. Although it's probably a little bit soon, maybe next week.
Yeah, I think with the Christmas break, I don't think there'd be much in it. But I did notice people were asking Gabe for builds on Christmas Day, I think.
That was a bit mean, wasn't it?
Yes.
So maybe in 2016, our predictions will get even better than they were in 2015.
Well, I predict that's not likely.
And I
And that
predict,
is one that will come true.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I predict my predictions will be spot on as they were last year.
Yeah. Well, I've had a look on Thingiverse, and apparently there's no 950 stands out there yet. So I'll have to design you one.
Oh, that sounds really good. Right, well, we should be back next Tuesday evening, 9 p.m. UK time in the chat room, or on YouTube and on podcasts, on Tuning Radio and everywhere else. With hopefully we'll have some new Universal apps to talk about as well, because there are a few nice ones coming through.
Yeah, some new rumored consumer apps, which we have no idea what they're going to be. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll see, and we might have some more things from CES to talk about. So until then, we'll see you next week. Jace, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at DatabaseChase.
And Gary, where will we find you?
On Twitter at Gary WMA, and of course at Fascinating Tech with the Christmas, well, I suppose it's New Year's present list now. If you wanted something to find to spend with that spare cash you got over Christmas, there's some good stuff on the gift guide there, and a competition still to win. Nobody's actually won this month's competition yet, so
head over there and have a look.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have got any spare, you want to get a new coffee machine like mine. That's my gadget of the year.
Or my 3D printer, so I can print you a coffee machine.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. So I'm
Maybe
going
you
down.
could print some coffee beans.
Yeah, that could be, because they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually got a coffee machine, but I have got, those capsules you can buy for coffee machines. I've got a capsule stand listed here.
Excellent. You've got a stand for everything now. There's just stands all over your house. Have you printed a 3D stand to store your 3D stands on?
No, not quite.
That's your next job.
But I did print a 3D box to put things in at Christmas.
Yeah. Right. Well, I shall leave it with that. I'll go and have one of my nice coffees, and you go get some printing done.
Well done.
All right. And we'll see you all next week.
All right.
Take care.
Cheerio. Bye
Bye.
bye.